Hello everyone, I am Shumit Majumdar, Assistant Professor of MCKB Institute of Engineering. I welcome you all to the webinar on Career in Data Science. This is the third webinar from Recalibrate Education 2020 series presented by MCKB Institute of Engineering. It is said that the data is the new gold and Industry 4.0 is focused on the data only. To enlighten with us with his insight, we have our expert, Mr. Kaustubh Datta Chaudhary. Mr. Kaustubh Datta Chaudhary is one of our proud alumni of MCGB Institute of Engineering. He completed his BTech in Computer Science and Engineering in 2016. During his graduation, he was selected for Mozilla's, the parent company of Mozilla Firefox, Summer Contribution Program in June 2014, and he was the only one participant to complete the program successfully. His name was enlisted in the Mozilla's the A team, which is responsible for reducing the loading time from 5 seconds to 50 milliseconds. He worked as a data scientist in Sensei Hub from November 2015 to December 2017. In this period, he had engineered a parser which is pivotal in gathering, restructuring, and storing of historical research grants and patent data for faster retrieval from Elasticsearch database. Under his advice and guidance, the MCKVIE CAC team became one of the winning team of prestigious Smart India Hackathon 2017 organized by MHRD or Government of India. He is now associated with Rentomojo, an online rental portal from 2018 as a senior data scientist. For Rentomojo, he has built a face detection based customer genuineness verification system and a conventional bot to reduce the load on the IVRS. He has also launched a key extraction based KYC verification system and credit profile based risk assessment system for his company. He has modified the existing invoice generation system to reduce the time of generating an invoice from 8 hours to 10 to 30 minutes. His pipeline based data collection system has smoothened the functionality of different teams and accelerated the business process for his company. Without further ado, I would like to request Mr. Kaustubh Datta Chaudhary to take over from here. We'll address all your questions after his presentation. So, Kaustubh, you can start.
Hello and welcome everybody to the webinar. So today we'll be talking about data science. And when we talk about data science, it has gained some popularity in the recent times thanks to the huge adoption of the techniques that we're using on a day-to-day basis. So when we hear about data science, the first thing that comes to our mind is what is data science? So data science is essentially a collection of tools, techniques, concepts, and algorithms that help us take certain kinds of decisions. So data science can be summed up as a conglomeration of situations and algorithms with which we use data to take decisions under uncertainty. So there are times when we have the entire set of data available to us. So for example, if you're solving a tic-tac-toe game, we can simulate all of these moves that's possible on the tic-tac-toe game. So in that case, there is hardly any uncertainty left. So for any move that our opponent makes, we already have a huge database of moves that the computer can generate to make a winning game. However, data science deals more on the statistical end of it, and hence it deals a little bit more on the uncertainty portion of it. So in essence, data science is one of the building blocks to the modern artificial intelligence as we know it. And at the same time, data science is being used to look over existing data, find patterns from it, and like help businesses drive their growth, or even like help researchers come up with newer techniques and newer solutions which can either formulate a new solution to the problem that they're working at, or that can be a very big source of cost savings for them. So like if we talk about like data science, we also need to know about where the applications of data science come into play. So where do we see data science in action? So as one of the pioneers of the field, Dr. Andrew Ng or Dr. Andrew Ang, she made this very famous quote which says AI is the new electricity. What he meant by that is electricity was, when it came out as a new concept, it was a revolutionary concept and it changed the way we see the world forever. And so is artificial intelligence doing the same thing. And data science is a part of that. So, like to give you a few examples of where we see like applications of data science, we need not look any further than the mobile phone that we're using. So something from as simple as the predictive text. So if we type a word in our phone, the phone starts predicting what word will be the next best fit in the keyboard itself. That is an application of data science and artificial intelligence. In fact, that is like, while the application looks simple, the techniques behind that is fairly complex, and it's called something of like LSTMs or long short-term memories. Then we have the camera in our phone, which detects our faces, which in itself is an application. And then it not only detects the faces, it also detects the blemishes and the like color variations, the tonality of light on that, and it tries to fix that to make our faces better. That is what we know as the beauty mode of our camera. That in itself also is an application of data science. Going a little broader, uh, like if we look at like traffic systems which can automatically detect what is the vehicle number of the like vehicle, what's the registration number or the number of the vehicle, and like flag any like traffic violations. That also again is a application of data science in action. So data science can be used for things like as simple as last week, like let's say my website had a huge spike in orders. I need to explain why that spike was in place. It can be used for that, and it can be used for something as complicated as generating an entire image or generating an entire video out of its own, or to like push the boundaries of research as we know it. So like once we have a brief idea about like what the like applications of data science is, what you see on my screen right now is a like sneak peek as into something that I'm working on right now. It's an independent research, and this is one of the components that help us identify whether DNA is present in historical artifacts or not. So data science can be applied in cross domains as well. So it's not necessarily something that has to be fixed to the software world as we know it, or rather the experiential software as we know it. So it can be e-commerce or like, or mobile phones. It need not be restricted to that. The application that you are seeing on the screen right now is a part of archaeological chemistry, and data science can play a big role in here as well. So as a result of this research work, the end goal is to reduce cost and dependency on costly machines. As a like byproduct of that, we not only like the machines that are in place right now to do this process, it's not only costly, but it also like destroys the sample once it's analyzed. It's a destructive process of analysis. Using like other non-destructive processes to come up with other parameters, and help using data science to help power the decision making to an extent, reduces the destruction of the materials as well, which are like dated to the prehistoric era and hence very rare. So that was an overview about like what data science is and the flavor of like where we can see data science in our day-to-day lives and as well as in research and in function. So like the next big question that comes to mind is like for a budding engineer or a budding uh, professional, what are the available career options in data science? So data science, although it's addressed as a single field, it does have multiple career choices to choose from. So like you can be a data engineer, there are data analysts in action, there are business intelligence developers, and then there are data scientists. So these are the four major way in which I classify the career options. There are obviously other options as well, which are slight deviations from these four broad categories. And as well, like now as the world is more like going towards a more adaptive way of dealing with data science, there are like cases where one has to wear multiple hats or one has to juggle between multiple of these functions on his day-to-day work. So to give a brief idea about what these career options are, data engineers are mostly on the infrastructure and the pipeline end. So for data science work to begin with, we need a huge amount of data. So without data, we can neither analyze the data nor take any decision on the data, or neither can we teach a computer to like build a model out of it which can automate the decision making process. So data engineers come into action in this phase and they build the pipelines which are used to collect, transform. So like what I mean by transformation is once we collect the data, it might not be in the format that we're looking for. So data engineers transform that into a different format or into a more suitable format that we are looking at, and then load that data into a storage facility. So that can either be a database or a data warehouse. And this entire pipelining and the infrastructure management of this entire process is taken care by data engineers. Then comes data analysts. So like once the data is made available to us, data analysts are a great asset to any company. So data analysts can look into the data and they can make fast analysis. They can look into the trends and they can explain what is happening with the data. One of the golden rules that data analysts follow is that they never make assumptions or they never make outcomes outside of the data. So they look into the data very deeply and very broadly, and they make like very fast analysis, which makes the company understand what are the loopholes, what are the good places where uh, they are performing well, and then like they can explain why that happened. So the example that I gave you of, let's say like last month there was a huge spike or a huge drop in my orders. Why did that happen? So data analysts would look into the data available to them and they would look at supporting data. So was there a spike because we ran a marketing campaign, or was there a spike because we put in more effort into customer retention and hence the word of mouth spread, or did we like run any kind of banner ads and put more budget in that? So these are the questions that the data analysts will look into the data and extract out of it. Then comes business intelligence developers. So business intelligence developers are one of the key aspects into the strategy making of any company. So business intelligence, as the name suggests, drives a business. It provides insight as to what the business should do next. So business intelligence developers will look into the data and identify core areas where the data can be leveraged, and then use that data to make a strategy for, let's say, the next quarter or the next half year of a company. So that way like the company makes informed decisions, and as well as each decision of the company is backed up by proper evidence, which is data in this case. And then comes data scientists. So data scientists look into the data and then they identify where the data can be leveraged to automate decision making. So let's, for example, say that given a like a simple example of given an image, I want to know whether the image is of a car or a ship. So that is a straightforward activity for a human being. But for a computer, that is a not so straightforward activity. So like data scientists will look into the data, see what volumes of data are available to them, and then eventually build something which is a data product which can automate this decision making. Now, of all these four terms that I've used, like as I mentioned before, there are people who are working in multiple of these, and there are people like who are like working a little apart from this. So, to give you an example of that, like is a concept of data architect, and in my company, I do work as a data architect for the analytics team. So what I do is I help the data engineers understand what kind of an infrastructural layout would make more sense for us in terms of uh, the cost saving as well as performance. So that is one of my functions as a data architect. And then as I mentioned, as a data scientist, I do have like the other functions that I just mentioned. I have some of my colleagues also who are very proficient in data analysis, and they like we do work in a collaborative way on a day-to-day basis to help us understand like and gain insights out of that uh, data that we have available to us. So then the next question comes, now that we know the career options, how do we dive deep into that? Or how do we get into that head first? So in that regard, one of the first questions that I get from anybody who is looking to get into the field is, do I directly get into machine learning? So machine learning is a part of data science which deals with teaching a machine to take decisions on its own. So this is the process that we call modeling, and a model helps us automate those decisions on behalf of the human beings. Now, the machine learning has been brought into light in terms of the media recently, and hence there has been a huge growth and huge hype around it. But my advice to anybody who is starting to break into this career is perhaps starting with machine learning is not the best way to go forward. So then what skills do I require to start or get started on this journey? The firstly, for any of these roles or most of these roles, statistics lies as the backbone to that. So we need statistics and statistical methods to help wrangle and play with the data. Along with statistics, we also use some sort of data transformation for optimization as well as for data calculation part of it, and that is linear algebra. And here's where your determinants matrices come into play. These are very important once we get deeper into the more advanced topics of data science, namely like machine learning, deep learning, etc. These two become the building blocks of that. Then comes engineering skills. So for somebody with a strong statistical knowledge, he can build a data model which is, let's say, 99% accurate, but it's very slow. That doesn't serve our purpose, because if if a user has an attention span of 30 seconds, I have to automate the decision making within those 30 seconds. I cannot have a model which takes 5 minutes to run. So engineering skills become very important at this place as well. Now, without engineering skills, you might have a very strong model, but which cannot scale or which cannot perform as good. Without statistics and only with engineering knowledge, if somebody tries to apply data science, what happens is we might have a fairly average model, which might be able to handle many of the activities, but not all of the activities. So for those fine tuning, you do need like the statistical and the algebra background or the mathematical background behind that. Then comes the communication skills. As I mentioned, data science is a very cross-platform or cross-functional job. So here you have to work with multiple stakeholders, understand what the actual business problem is, and also make the stakeholders understand what your process is or what your model is doing. And for that, a lack of communication can prove to be disastrous. Without proper communication, an entirely wrong model can be built because the data scientist did not understand the concept of the business properly, or a very good model can be rejected by the business stakeholders because they did not understand the application part of it properly. So communications become very important at this point as well. Then comes like the data skills, which is data acquisition, which is how do I get hold of the data and what data do I get hold of. Then comes the data extraction. So not all data that we acquire would be useful for us. So we have to identify the useful parts of the data, extract that. We have to clean it up, which is called data wrangling. And once the data is cleaned up, we go on with the modeling if it is needed. We build the model and we take some decisions based on that, or we can just explore the data. And one of the great ways of exploring that data is greater visualization. So even that becomes a very strong skill to have. And then we need to know how to store and retrieve those data properly and efficiently. And lastly, like what we have is the domain knowledge or the business knowledge as we call it. So if this is not something that somebody will have from the beginning, so as and when one gets into the industry, he has to work with multiple stakeholders and then identify what are the challenges and what are the advantages of the business and have an understanding of how the business performs. So that being said, that was all from my side. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take it on.
Yeah, Kaustubh, we have some questions with us. Mr. Saurabh Gorai want to know about use of mathematics in data science. Also, Mr. Dipankar Ghosh like to know what are the essential skills needed for becoming a data scientist and how to acquire them.
Yes. As I mentioned, mathematics does play a very strong backbone towards data science processes, and having a mathematical background or having a mathematical clarity on this subject will help you make your processes better, more efficient. So that's obviously something that is very highly stressed upon. What are the skills needed? I think like if I go back to my last slide, uh, this would be like properly outlining the skills that are needed. So from the way I see it, it's better to start with the mathematical part of it, the statistics, linear algebra, engineering skills, engineering in terms of mostly software engineering skills, communication skills, data skills, and then domain knowledge. Domain knowledge one might not necessarily have before starting on a job, but it's very important that one acquires that domain knowledge once he has been on the job. As for how to acquire that, there are multiple ways of going forward with that. Some of these are a part of like college curriculum, so paying good attention to that would be a great help. Apart from that, there are online courses available, both paid and free. So people can explore that. And then like the way forward that I say is it's better that we find first like have an overview of what we are trying to do, and then identify our weaknesses, and then look into and study about specific topics either from books or from blogs or research papers or even online courses, or asking some expert or some teacher to help them out with that. That is one of the best ways to go ahead in the acquiring of the skills.
Okay, Kaustubh, next question is from Ms. Brinda. She likes to know what is the data visualization.
Okay. Yes, that's actually a very good question. So when we have data on our hands, it's mostly numbers and texts and images. So each data point in itself might not make sense. So we end up doing some analysis on that, or we end up doing exploring the data using descriptive statistics. So once we start off with that process, we need to know like what our results are looking like. So let's, for example, I need to know like I have got orders, like 10 orders from the city, and I need to know like which order is from outside of the city bounds or which order is not within my serviceable area. So in these cases, if we can put the data, whatever we found out from the data or the raw data in itself or whatever we are trying to do, which is projections or forecasting on the data. If we try that in a pictorial format, that becomes a little clearer and better to understand. So expressing our data and related studies that we have done for that in a pictorial and visual format, that is something that we call data visualization.
Okay. The next questions are some kind of similar. Asked by Mr. Sandeep Kumar Jadhav and Ms. Neha Ronanier. They like to know how to look for job or how to build career in the field of data science. And she also, Ms. Neha also likes to know about the scope of data science in her career.
Yes, that's another good set of questions. So, how to get a job? Getting the first job in any domain sounds challenging and tricky and scary, to be honest. And one of the best ways to get ahead of the curve is to do something that nobody else is doing. So that would mean like either getting an internship if that's possible, like which means that when companies are open for hiring for internships, you apply for that and convince the company that you will be a good fit for that role. If that's not possible, then having side projects of your own, so you can identify a use case, and there are a lot of publicly available data sets and there are a lot of publicly available data sources as well. So we can customize and fetch the data that we need for that study or that product that we're trying to build and build a small product. It need not be like very like flamboyant or very advanced. It can be as simple as uh, building a detector which detects, let's say, humans. So one of the applications for that can be like used, like one of the applications for that can be that system can be used to take attendance in classrooms, or maybe like one can implement that in their own college and test it in their own classrooms. So these are like side projects are a big help, and any company would be out for looking into these side projects. At the same time, like there are a lot of companies who are open source organizations, which means like anybody who is interested can get in touch with them and start contributing to the code bases. A couple of these companies do work on artificial intelligence and machine learning and data science, so one can explore that avenue as well. As for like what are the scope of like careers in data science, as I mentioned, the scope is there's a lot of scope, but at the same time, due to the media hype and due to like the huge influx of interest in students, there's a lot of competition as well, and that is true for any field which is growing. So as long as you see that there's a big amount of competition, it means that the field is in demand and it's continuing to grow, which does mean that one has to go an extra mile or two to set themselves apart from the rest of the crowd. So for example, to give you an idea about like what the scope looks like, uh, in spite of like any of these like pandemic situation, there are still some companies who are hiring for data scientists, even though all other or most other roles have been frozen out. So that's how much demand our data scientist has right now. But at the same time, to give you an idea about what the competition looks like, uh, if I start hiring for a role, and let's say like on an average, if I get 100 resumes to screen, out of that 100, 90% of those resumes or 90 people will have the same 2 or 3 projects on their resumes. So which is like projects like Titanic dataset, which is projects like MNIST and projects like IRIS. So if 90% of the population have this same 3 projects on their resume, it doesn't set you out as well. These 3 projects are very good learning resources, but these are not something that you would want to showcase. Then,
So,
mhm.
yeah, one of the participants want to know what is the relation between the operation research and the data science.
Yes. So honestly speaking, like I haven't been diving too deep into operations research, but at the same time, that being said, some of the numerical methods that are used in operations research are also some of the those are the same methods and the same algorithms which are the building blocks and the backbone of some of the data science structures and processes that we follow.
Okay. Another question is that how a non-CS student or a core department student can be a data scientist, and what are the coding skills is required? If you can tell that answer in a short time.
Sure. So, as for like coming from different backgrounds, data science is a field that is open to all. It's not very background specific. At the same time, one needs to put in the effort to gain the skills that are needed. So, like somebody from a CS background does have an advantage of doing the engineering and some of the statistics and linear algebra background for that, because it's a part of the curriculum. But anybody who is interested to learn can learn and pick up the skills. Uh, as for going on with which coding skills are needed, more than like the language in action, what's more focused on is having clear concepts of uh, how to optimize on solutions and how to build faster solutions and how to like push accuracy of some solution, and open to research. That mindset is needed. And if you're looking for specific coding related queries, the languages that are used prevalently as of now are Python and R, but at the same time there are other languages like Java and JavaScript which is being used for data science as well.
So participants, that brings to the end of this webinar session. I would firstly like to thank you, Mr. Kaustubh Datta Chaudhary, for his valuable time, for giving us his valuable time. I would also like to thank NCKB Institute of Engineering and our digital partner, TechWala, for giving us this opportunity to give you an idea about the career in data science. Thank you all. I would like to thank you all the participants for your patience, time, and though there is a network problem in all over West Bengal, you give your valuable time to participate in this event. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you for having me. It was nice.